We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's July 13th, 2023, and on my far left, Cindy Beck, our city clerk, our county clerk. On the far right, Jim Crowell, our county counselor. And on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2. I'm Bill Rippon, I represent District 1. County Commissioner Mays is on assignment, so he'll be back next week. What is first on the agenda?
First item is item under proclamations presentations, presentation by the 4-H Fair Queen and King.
Good morning. My name is Grace Weens. I'm the 4-H and Youth Development Agent here in Shawnee County. And it is fair season in Shawnee County. We've got that coming up. At the heart of 4-H is the opportunity for 4-Hers to learn new skills, and the fair is the best part of the year because that's their time to showcase those things that they've learned throughout the year. But I don't need to tell you that or give you spoilers for the fair because I have our fair king and queen, Daniel Biggs and Elizabeth Poling, here to tell you the interesting bits. So I'll let them take away.
Okay. Hello guys, my name is Elizabeth Poling. I am the 4-H Fair Queen. So I'm going to be talking about a bit what the 4-H Fair is. So the 4-H Fair is a big celebration, I think, for all the 4-Hers that have put in so much work throughout the year. And we make all these projects and we present them and we have a pride in that. And because for most of us, that's a very stressful time. This is a stressful time for us, you know, getting all of our projects in and making sure that they're the best they can be, hence the slogan of 4-H. So there's multiple things that the public can do. Also, Daniel will go a bit more into the schedule, but there's the pancake feed, the pedal tractor pull, and much more that the public can go to. But it's also just a great place to go to see these 4-Hers work and support the 4-Hers. And yeah, with that, I'll hand it off to Daniel.
Okay, so I'm going to go over the schedule a little bit. I have schedules that I'll hand out to you guys here in a second. But first, we have the horse show that starts on July 15th and the 16th. And then the rest of which is this weekend. And then the rest of the fair runs throughout Sunday, July 23rd. But it won't pick up until Thursday of this next week. But then Thursday, all the exhibits will get there, and we'll have the Shawnee County Purple Ribbon Foods Auction at 6:45, where all the food exhibits will go to auction, and anyone is welcome to bid on that. And then Friday, we'll start with the dog show, and that's followed by the sheep show at 10:30, and then the bucket calf show, which is followed by the beef show at 5 p.m. And then Friday night from 8 to 11, there is a free concert from the Bash, which is a local band. And then Saturday, the pancake feed is from 7 a.m. to noon, and that's open to the public. And then there's a pickle eating contest, which I think everybody should try out. It's at 11:15, and then a pedal pole, which is followed by that starts at noon. And then this year, there's actually going to be a cornhole tournament as well, which is at 3 o'clock. And then at 5 is the livestock sale. And then on Sunday, all exhibits are open for everyone to come and visit. And then there's a car show starting at 10 a.m. And then the next year's Fair King and Queen will be presented to the public at 3 p.m. And then there is a fashion review after that.
Very good. All right.
Fair enough.
Can we get a picture of you guys?
Yes, let's do that.
Commissioner Rippon, as a former 4-H'er, the stressful part is not the fair, it's the record books at the end.
That is true.
I'm glad you have a schedule.
Yes.
You can put that pickle eating contest on your calendar.
I got it not down.
Okay, good. All right. All right, well, that's very good. What's next on the agenda?
Next is item 3, consent agenda.
I will move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioner, we have vouchers that total $4,322,598.34. Some of the highlights out of the voucher report under facilities management, and it's being paid with the ARPA SLFRF funds to Cine and Company for $571,914.25 is for the courthouse renovation project. There is, under the Equitable Sharing Fund, CDW Government Incorporated for $12,368 for the purchase of Surface laptops. Under our payroll, which is one of the larger items on today's vouchers, $1,277,267.81. I don't have any questions regarding the voucher report and would move for its approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 3, consider approval of the annual renewal of an industrial revenue bond tax exemption for 2020 Southeast 6th LLC for the year 2023. And this one, they have paid they're a little late. We normally do these in January, but this one, we're waiting for some documentation to come through, put it that way. They have paid all their taxes, and of course, as an in lieu of tax, they don't have the option to pay it in 2 payments. They have to pay it all, no matter what it is. They have to pay it all the first payment, and that was paid. And this is the first of their 10-year calendar exemption.
Okay.
So we have to have her exception or approval by you. He wasn't representing he wasn't representing the IRB, just in case you wanted to know that. I'm sorry.
I assumed.
But all the compliance has been met at this time?
Everything has been, yes, everything has
Okay.
been.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item B, Extension Office number 1, to file Extension Office, or Extension Council's 2024 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am not Candace Mearpool. She couldn't be here today. I'm Lisa Martin, Family and Consumer Sciences Agent. And as per extension law, we have to certify that we filed our budget by July 15th. And all that means is that you have received it, that you don't need to take any action on it. So I need this signed and sealed. If I could hand it off to Ms. Beck.
Do we need to acknowledge receipt of it?
Yes, you
I would
accept-
then move
yeah.
to acknowledge receipt of the Extension Council's 2024 budget.
I second that. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook to acknowledge this, what do you call it?
Extension Council 2024
Yeah.
budget.
Okay, their 2024 budget. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
next item.
Item C, Health Department, number 1, consider approval to fill an intermittent advanced practice registered nurse position for the family planning program at an hourly rate of $56 utilizing grant funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher, Director of the Health Department. This request is to really change the position that we have. We currently have a permanent part-time position, and having been a year into the family planning program, we've really utilized that to the best of our ability, but looking at the schedule for our clients and the amount of grant funding that we've received, we went back to the drawing boards and decided that an intermittent position would really better serve the needs of both our clients, but more importantly, better utilize our grant funding. And so that is the request for, the reason for the request today. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Questions?
No.
I have no questions. I'd move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Next item.
Item C2, consider authorization and execution of contract C214-2023 with Utah State University Masters of Dietetics Administration Training Affiliation Program for an internship request. You did that on purpose, didn't you? With the Health Department Women's Infant and Children Program. There's no cost to this agreement.
Good morning, Commissioners. Missy Middendorf, Shawnee County Health Department Family Health Division Manager. This is a new contract with the new school to allow a dietetic student to come and work on their master's program with the WIC program at Shawnee County Health Department. This person will be working approximately 4 weeks in our WIC clinic, and there's no cost for this, and we'll be able to offer her opportunities to work with clients. She's reached out to us as she finished K-State and was looking for somewhere to take care of her community portion of her master's program. So we've created this. She's going through Utah State University, as it says.
That's, so this person's going to K-State, and then they're going to go to
Yeah,
Utah
so they've
for
already
their-
finished at K-State, and they're going to go to Utah State University. It's like a distance program, so then they
Okay.
have to find their own locations to do their clinical type work.
Okay.
And so that's why she reached out, seeing if she could do her community portion with the health department.
Do we feel like this might help us get?
Always.
Right. Okay, all right, that's the goal. All right.
And there is
That's our
no
goal.
cost.
And there's no cost.
Well.
And she'll help us.
Well, I would move for approval.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item D, Human Resources, number 1, consider approval of the Core Insurance Committee's request to have the preferred provider organization qualified high deductible plan and retiree insurance rates remain unchanged for the 2024 plan year.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. Coming on the heels of no cost for the Health Department, we are looking at no cost of increase for 2024 benefits for our PPO plan, our high deductible plan, our retiree plan, and COBRA. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I have none. I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Next item.
Item E, Department of Corrections, number 1, request approval of contract C216-2023 and 217-2023 with One Heart Project Kansas to provide mentorship and other services for justice-involved juveniles in Shawnee County for a total of $164,775.30 for each state fiscal year 2024 and 2025 to be paid with grant funds from the Kansas Department of Corrections.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is the first of a series of items that I have to cover each fiscal year to make sure that the funds we get from KDOC get passed through to various community organizations. And this is an organization that is getting funds from 2 different grant programs, and they work closely with the district court with juveniles to try to stabilize them while they're going through the court process. So I'd be happy to answer any other questions you have.
I have none. It's a pass-through for state funding, so I would move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E2, request approval of contracts C-218, 2023, and C-219-2023 with Boys and Girls Clubs of Topeka to conduct a comprehensive youth development program through state fiscal year 2024 for $81,984.08, and a teen center program through state fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025 for $75,918.28 each year, to be paid with grant funds from the Kansas Department of Corrections.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is another item. This is for the work that the Boys and Girls Clubs of Topeka do, both with keeping juveniles busy when they're not at school or during summer programs, and the other item is more focused on juvenile-involved youth that are in the teen years, and to help them build life skills and get involved in leadership programs so that they can get themselves out of the quagmire, so to speak. So I'd be happy to answer any of the questions you have.
How many years have we been doing this?
The Comprehensive Youth Development Program far predates me. Back before 2016, they were doing it, and then they just kept doing it after the Senate Bill 367. But they have never had an increase in pay because it's locked in that way. The other one, the Teen Center, started I think in 2020 or 2021, when I started getting JCAB funds to pass through to the community. That's what we call them, JCAB funds. And that program was developed at that time, and it's been going since, and it's had really good
Good success.
outcomes.
Good outcome?
Yes.
Any questions?
No.
I will move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E3, request approval of contracts C-220, 2023, and C-221 with 2023 with the Kansas Children's Service League to provide juvenile intake services through state fiscal year 2024 for $434,303.23, and conduct the OASIS program through state fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025 with $181,726,000 each year, to be paid with grant funds from the Kansas Department of Corrections.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This item is, again, with an established community organization, KCSL. The first item is a statutorily required program that each judicial district has to provide, and that's juvenile intake services. And the second item is also a more recent development from the JCAB dollars, where they work with families of juvenile or justice-involved youth, and they give some wraparound services and try to stabilize the household, so to speak, so that the juvenile can also stabilize and get out of trouble. Be happy to answer any other questions you have.
Questions?
I do not.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E4, request approval of contract C-222-2023 with the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice to provide mediation services for justice-involved juveniles through state fiscal year 2024 and fiscal year 2025 for $121,898.98 each year, to be paid with grant funds from the Kansas Department of Corrections.
Good morning, Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This item is our first year to manage this. That is Community Corrections' first year. But this program has been going on for, I think, 7 years in the jurisdiction, and it is paid for with what they call reinvestment grant funds. And they provide mediation services and work with court services and the district court and the DA's office to help juveniles that are going through the system.
Questions?
Nope. Move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E5, request approval of contract C-223-2023 with Heartland Regional Alcohol and Drug Assessment Center for Care Coordination and Recovery Coach Services for the clients of adult community corrections through state fiscal year 2024 for $191,500 to be paid from the state grant funds and fiscal year 2023 county funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is what I consider our most successful program in community corrections. It used to, we only had one care coordinator, but we were having such success with her that we asked to get a second one during the fiscal 23 county budget process. And that's what this agreement does, is it combines those two care coordinator positions into one agreement. And this group does a lot of close with our adult clients, does a lot of close work with them, helping them with their substance abuse disorder, and we've had really good outcomes, and it's improved their success rates when they go through their programming with RADAC.
So the goal of this, adding a second care coordinator, is to address drug and alcohol issues, to get them to the proper treatment programs, and to hopefully have a change in behaviors?
Specifically, yes. To be more precise, that's what the first one was doing also, but she could only cover like 15% of our clients. And so we needed to enlarge the program so that we could cover a larger percentage of our clients in this program because it was being so successful.
I would move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E6, request approval of contract C-224-2023 with USD 501 to continue providing educational services to the youth detained within the juvenile detention center through the state school years of 2024 and 2025. There are no costs involved with this agreement.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. I think you probably are already aware of this, but USD 501 is embedded in our juvenile detention center. They have a whole team of teachers and para professionals that work with the juveniles so that any juvenile that comes in will have a continuation of all their education activities, including if they have an IEP. So this agreement just formalizes that relationship so that everybody kind of knows the rules about security and all of that. And it's just a continuation, but I'd be happy to answer any of the questions.
Questions?
Nope.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Next item.
Item E7, request approval of contract C-225-2023 with the City of Topeka for an increase in the hourly per diem rate for housing city prisoners in the Adult Detention Center to $4.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. This is also a continuation of our relationship with the City of Topeka to charge them for housing their prisoners, and we have it broken down by hours because many times they are only there for a few hours. So this is about a 20% increase to what they were paying, and we do this every 2 years, and then we will continue to reassess whether the value needs to go up each time. I'll be happy to answer any other questions.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
This is Jim Crouch, County Counselor. I just want to make sure on the housing contract, the memo says the term ends December 31st, 2025. The agreement still says in paragraph 8 that it ends at midnight on August 31st of 2025. So you might note that as you circulate that to the city. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you,
For
Commissioner.
that marathon. Next item.
Item F, Information Technology. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-215-2023, a renewal of an annual maintenance agreement with Central Square for the One Solution ERP application suite at a cost of $78,276.59 billed monthly.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is just our annual renewal of One Solution Finance Enterprise. I can answer any questions if you have them.
How much is it monthly then? You don't need to do the math.
Well, it is 78,000. No, it's
That's per month?
That's-
No, it's, I think it's around 6,000, about 7,000 a month, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Um,
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a 78. Okay.
No, it's not, that's
The
a.
way it reads.
Well, and so there's a renewal of one part that is $3,772.92, which is a one-time payment. Then the remainder, the $74,503.67 is divided among 12 and paid out monthly.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Ribbon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 2-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 5, public comment.
Do we have anyone here wishing to speak? I have no one signed up, so. We'll, all right, seeing none, next item.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Betty Griner, Director of Administrative Services. I just want to remind the public that on Monday, during our work session, we'll have discussions of the capital improvement plan.
Good. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Andrew Howell, Shawnee County Elections. Just a reminder for the public, especially those in City District City Council 6. Mail ballots were sent out yesterday for that election. Early voting starts on Monday. Hours for voters that live in City District 6 that are voting on the 4 people that are running will be 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. next Monday through Friday. And then also 8 a.m. From the 24th to the 28th, and then again on that Monday, it'll be till noon. So same time schedule, same time frames as people are used to over the next couple weeks for that election. So just a reminder to folks that live in that city council district. Thank you.
Andrew, thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Cook.
Commissioner Ribbon, public is, we've been working through the budget cycle and working through all of the departments and listening to all of the requests. Reminds me of a good friend of ours in the community, Randy Wheat. Randy Wheat took $500, started a business, and grew it to be a multi-million-dollar operation. And it shows what hard work and tenacity can do in your community, and making not just an improvement to you, but also to the rest of your community. And as I've been thinking about our budget and looking at our community, I think it's time for us as a community to make a reinvestment back in. And so during the budget cycle, I will be asking that we look at taking $6 million from our general reserves and applying that to addressing mental health, drug and alcohol counseling, and chronic homeless. I will be asking that we form a coalition of partners within our community, starting with the City of Topeka, the Municipal Court, the District Attorney, our Sheriff, Topeka Police Department, Vallejo, Department of Corrections, and make this a true community endeavor. And I would ask that the City of Topeka also look at their budget and seeing if they might be able to partner with us in this endeavor. If we choose to do nothing, our community will continue to decline. I see more homeless in our community. We know that it's an increasing problem. Drug and alcohol addiction has reached a critical level within our community, and I think it's time for us to make bold actions. And I know that this is hard, especially considering all of the hard work that went into raising our reserves to where they're at. When I started as a commissioner, we were looking at a critical level of our reserves. And I think many of us are still in the room that were there that day when we had to go to employees and let them know they were being laid off. And we cut services, and we cut programs. And we put a lot of blood, sweat, and work into building up our reserves. We now have our reserves at a healthy level. We have high bond ratings. But having that money in the reserves is great for Shawnee County. but I think it's time to make that investment into not just us as a community governmental body, but also in just in us as a community. I know that this is a little bit unplanned for you, catch you by surprise.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for us to think about taking bold action and doing something bold. And I think that this is also an opportunity for us to emphasize that it's an all hands on deck, not just the city, not just the county, but also private organizations and entities. We have a lot of philanthropic organizations within our community and corporate partners, and I think it's time for us all to come together to address this issue. Because if we don't, I think we, again, are hitting a critical level of a point of no return. Thank you.
I wanted to mention the passing of Kurt Laub. He was on our Park Advisory Board. He also worked for Parks and Recreation. He was head of Parks with the city for at least 10 years. I worked with him all those years. He started the Parks and Recreation Department for St. Charles County in St. Charles, Missouri. He also helped finish up the YMCA building on 37th Street. And he was head of Parks and Recreation in Manhattan, Kansas for a number of years before he retired, but passed last Friday, and he will be missed. So just wanted to mention that. What's next?
Item 7, executive session.
We have no need for executive session, so we are adjourned.